for the upcoming assignments, you are going to be asked to use APA citation and to put it into proper format. I've been going through the formative assignment where you were asked to submit your initial stages, and I'm noticing a lot of the same mistakes, and they're very simple to fix, but I just want to make sure that you know how to fix them. First of all, you're being asked to find sources that you are going to create the citation for, that if you are to use them in a report, that you use in-text citation, but we're just creating the reference list. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is that on the main page when you first log in, there is a link that you have access to EBSCOhost. EBSCOhost is an online database that allows you access to academic journals and important information that can be useful for this course. When you click on that link, I would highly recommend using Canadian Reference Center. There are two, this one and the Canadian Reference Center. And I just want to say that typically I refer students to the Canadian Reference Center over this one. This reading level is very high, and sometimes you will find articles that are 42 pages long, whereas this tends to be more student-centered and geared towards high school students. When you click in that link, you can enter in whatever it is that you're searching for, and from there you will end up finding something that looks like this. So I clicked on this article and it has all the information. And so I'm going to create a citation for this in just a minute. The other thing that I found is just a news source. And so it's coming from Global News and it's talking about the Canadian household. And I'm going to put both of these into my citation just to demonstrate the various forms of sources that we are looking for. So one of the key things that I want to point you to is that there are many guides for APA citation and how it should look, and you can actually type it up on your own. There are also many citation generators that you have access to. One of the key ones that I typically use, and I'll show you how to use it right in Google Docs in just a minute, but I like EasyBib. Students and I were using Citation Machine for a very long time, but much like EasyBib, it is so filled up with advertisements that it's sometimes hard to navigate through. So what I did is I entered in the URL from this website. So I just copied and pasted it. I went to easybib.com and I said I wanted to create a citation. So I typed in the URL and this website has identified that this is the article that I'm looking at. So I can confirm from here to the actual article that that is in fact what I'm looking for. So I'm going to cite that, and it will actually create and put it all into the correct information for me so that I don't have to work as hard and do all that information. But what I do need to do is I need to go back through and just ensure that it has all the correct information. So this is today's date, this is where it comes from, this is the URL, and that is in fact the title. So once I've confirmed that information, I'm going to move on to the next step. It's actually going to extract all the information about the authors. And so when I look through, I just want to confirm with the website that that is in fact the author of this particular source. That's the title. And I'm looking for any additional information. There are times when it doesn't actually come up with the published date. So I need to go back to the article and fill that in. Fortunately for me, this website has been located and has all the necessary information. So I'm going to go on to complete that citation. Now, as I discovered as I was going through this, EasyBib is also not easy to access in that I had to watch an article or an advertisement in order to access the information that I wanted. So I'm going to show you actually how to use EasyBib within your blog, which makes it advertisement free and easier to use. So one of the key things, I want to pay attention to the fact that it put it in MLA style. We are using APA, so I need to change the style here. Normally that doesn't happen. So there are many, many problems. I just had the citation, but I need to make sure it's an APA style. And so just to give you a heads up, these are common challenges that when you're completing these that you will face. So I'm going to do that same thing, but in Google Docs you have add-ons. We're going to go get an add-on. We're going to actually put it into the tools that we can use. So I've already selected it, but you can type in EasyBib and it will show it right here. I've already installed it, but you normally will say install or add to Chrome. So now that I have it, what I can do is I can actually have it as a side tool that I can use as I'm working through. So I'm going to click website. Notice how it's a lot easier to use in terms of the lack of advertisements. It's very clear what I want to do, and I actually want to put it in APA before I click search. And the thing I like about using it within the Google Doc is that it will actually take it straight from this particular tool and put it into my document. So this is the article that I'm using. And so it's put it into format for me. I'm going to add it to my document. These are the things that I want you to pay attention to. So often, and I'm just going to take this, when you copy and paste it or put it in on your own, it will often not format it the same way. Things that I want you to pay attention to is that the second and every line after is indented and the URL is not hyperlinked. So how that happens is that you need to, if it ever comes up that they're all formatted the same or that your URL is highlighted, and I'll just do it here, or hyperlinked, it will look like this. Typically not be highlighted in blue. I want blue font. So we'll look like that, okay? So we need to make it look like this. So I'm going to highlight the URL. I'm going to make it black. I'm also going to indent every line. So I'm going to put my cursor at the second line, pull the ruler over this far, and make the first indent there. And therefore, it will look like that. So there's many different ways to be able to do citations, but I really want you to pay attention to how it's supposed to look. The other key thing is that if you have two or more sources is that they have to be alphabetical. And that is really, really important. So if you're entering in through using EasyBib as a tool, it will do it for you automatically. If you are using an external source, then it will take just a little bit longer and you have to maybe format it and ensure that it is in alphabetical order. Good luck and let me know if you have any questions.